Welcome back to Making FUGU. In the last episode, I sat down with director of photography, and producer for a new upcoming short film titled FUGU. Today I'm sitting down with production designer Auraceli Castañon to find out what makes a movie look so unique and how much work really goes into it. Welcome to episode 5 of the Jordan Benavides Show. This is the second installment that we have in the Making FUGU series, and today I'm joined by
Auraceli Castañon. Hello.
We're here on set, and we're going to be talking about prop design and art and how the film came together. So first, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your job.
So I am the production designer and prop master / EP of FUGU. Yeah.
What do you do, and how do you impact the way that the film looks?
For me, since I doubled as the role of prop master and production designer, I had the privilege of being able to firsthand work on my props and make sure that what I wanted came to life. But specifically, I wanted Nathan's vision to come to life exactly how he wanted it to, because for a lot of our props, he had a very specific vision that he wanted. I'd say, in particular, the knife was the biggest one. But yeah.
What's it like working with somebody who has that clear vision, but still trying to put your own spin on things? Do you have influences? Do you have anything like that that you really try to change? Or is there any kind of examples that you have of that with the props that you've done?
For a lot of my props, my main focus was to make sure that Nathan's vision came to life, and I put my views kind of second in a way. I will say for a lot of the props I made, I did have some impact on it. For instance, our heart was originally supposed to be a brain, and I kind of liked the idea of painting a heart better and everything. And so for that.
I watched you make the water that's in there.
Yeah, it's very specific. You fill it about this high with just yellow water, and then we add a water bottle with green and then dilute it and just add it as it keeps on going, just so it doesn't look weird or off or a little too pickled. But yeah, it's very tedious in a way.
Yeah. How do you keep it so specific so that it matches each time that you bring it out?
I try and look at reference photos, but I think I've made the heart about 4 times now, so I kind of just know it by heart and everything. For today, it looks a lot different on camera. It looks a lot more green and everything. So I kind of had to steer away from how I naturally make it. But yeah.
What about the heart itself? How did you make that?
So the heart is essentially a red dog plush, and it floats in the water. I completely painted it. It's also a little damaged around here, so I had to reseal that as well. But since it's a dog plush, it floats in the water, so it's stuffed with coins so that we can have something that's thin but also very heavy, so it weighs down as well. Usually it has a specimen number 006741, but we didn't put it on today. But yeah, it's basically hand painted by me and sealed with, I think, 3 layers of Mod Podge.
Tell me a little bit about the wardrobe. I know you said Nathan had a very clear vision about this stuff. What was that like for you?
For me, he honestly made my job a little easy, just when it came to Jordan or Vincent's wardrobe specifically, because his was very street and casual. So we used a lot of his clothes, I will say. But one of our main ones, we had specific colors for them. So Vincent's was green, secondary blue, and then Dorian's was more classic colors. So gray, black, and white. And for sashimi, we just have deep red.
I'm assuming you don't do all of this stuff by yourself, right?
I don't.
Do you have a team that you work with?
Yes.
And what is that like, leading all of this, but also being able to designate certain things to other people and getting to work creatively with people who have the same goal as you?
So my art director is Lindsay Warner. She also doubled as our makeup person as well. My wardrobe designer was Julia Ham. My assistant prop master was Nick Teller. And Brianna Stokes played the role of makeup and RPA, and Thomas Mahoney and Pamela Ramirez were also my RPAs. So,
What is like an average day, like a shooting day for you guys? How do you go into that? I mean, makeup, wardrobe, getting everybody prepared. How does that work?
I think a lot of it comes with just delegating tasks and making sure everyone has something to keep themselves occupied. So if we knew it was a scene with Jordan, typically as soon as he got there, we'd have Brianna or Lindsay working on makeup with him. And any other hands that are available, we're usually working with either props or set deck. And usually we had Julia as well with our actors to make sure that we had wardrobe going on. Yeah.
What? Well, tell me just about the pufferfish. It's caught my eye when I walked in, and from what I hear you guys talk about, he's very beloved.
Yes.
How did you make him?
Our pufferfish, Francis. So he is constructed of 1-inch layers of foam. So he took a long time, probably about 30 hours to make, but it's kind of hard to tell because we made these hand in hand together at the same time. But for the fish, it's, as I said, foam layered onto each other with a bunch of different types of glue to make sure that they hold. And then Nick sculpted it like a lot, sanded it down a lot to make sure we were able to get our shape that we wanted. And then it's paper mache twice, then painted white, and then we had our final, I guess, body of it, and then we coated it in Mod Podge twice afterwards with the ice. Oh, and our fins. I forgot. Our fins are as well. They're hot glue painted on. But, yeah.
How do you come up with, like, the idea of, like, doing something like that? I can't imagine making something from scratch just out of my head like that.
So we knew that he couldn't be fragile because in the film he, like, sets it down. And we wanted something we knew wasn't going to get damaged. So that kind of led us to doing foam. But since foam is a really rough texture, that led us to doing paper mache as well. So it kind of just goes down to process and elimination of how can we not make sure our props don't get damaged, and then also, I would say, what works best for the scene. Wait.
What are some issues that you run into? Things getting damaged is obviously like a huge worry, and making sure that they're able to last through all of the different days of filming that you do.
Right.
What are some issues that you have and that you run into, and how do you solve them and get past them and, continue forward?
I would say making sure they're handled with care, because there's certain props like our fish and like our heart where there's only one of them. So we usually have specific people that are only allowed to handle them. But for our sashimi, since it's more of a delicate prop, there's, I think, about 12 of them, and then we only use 7. And then again, it's just permitted to a certain number of people who can hold them.
How did you make this? I know you guys like went over there and kind of whipped it up in the back, but
Right.
How did that go?
So our sashimi dish is hot glue, and then it is wrapped in rice paper, but tinted rice paper, because sashimi has a tint to it, an orange pink tint to it as well. So it's dyed in colored rice paper and then wrapped and then painted a bit.
Do you have a favorite prop that you've worked with over the course of the film?
I'd say the sashimi knife. That's my favorite prop. I think it turned out the coolest, arguably, and that's one of the props I'm most proud of. I will say I got to have sort of a spin on it, so I got to choose to include sashimi and Japanese on both sides of the knife, which was fun, but I had a lot of fun constructing it, and I don't think it took too long, maybe about 3 hours compared to all the other ones, so.
Seems like everyone else thought it was the coolest because someone took it.
Yeah, I don't know where it is. I don't know where she is, but.
What has been your favorite moment so far? Working with everybody, working with your crew specifically. What has been your favorite moment to this point?
My favorite moment. I think the day we unveiled the fugu fish and the sashimi because they were both unveiled on the same day. I remember hearing a lot of praise for my department on those days, specifically with the sashimi, because a lot of people thought it looked real, which was my goal, obviously. But I will say the sashimi and the unveiling of the fugu fish. That was my favorite day, just for art. We also had a lot of cool set deck that day too, so that was fun.
How has being a part of the crew and getting to work with everybody here, how has that impacted you? Getting to make all of these and spending that time, what has it done for you, and how's it really, just changed you?
I realized throughout a lot of this process, I've had the opportunity to production design and art direct 2 other projects, but with Fugu, it was so hands-on and I had such a bigger team than what I was used to. And I learned that I really love delegating tasks and leading a team, which is great. And my team was also so awesome and talented and easy to work with. And they were always willing to just roll with anything that I said. And it was awesome.
Tell me a little bit about some of the other props on here. I see the eye is actually looking at me.
Yes, our eye. It is our glass eye. This one was made by Nick. It's, I believe, a Halloween eye, but we completely repainted it, and we did some research because it's supposed to be Benjamin Franklin's glass eye, so we wanted to make it look really withered and colored, and a lot of glass eyes are artificially blue, which is why we chose blue as well. So that's our eye. We have our grills, which were used at our mansion. This is our tea kettle that is thrown by Dorian at the Goons. And we all signed it. Almost all the art crew signed it. Here we have a bit of the jewelry that we use. So these are used by Dorian and Vincent. And then we have our henchman's knife that Vincent uses to cut through the rope. Yeah.
How do you adapt to changing needs on set? Whether it's like, maybe what you guys had planned for wardrobe isn't working out the way that you thought so. How do you make those changes on the fly? If you ever have to. Because it doesn't have to just be wardrobe. Right. I'm assuming through all different aspects of, the art of the film, there's something's going to go wrong at some point or that you have to fix. What's that like for you, and how does your crew also help you, solve those problems?
For the warehouse scene, we weren't aware that part of potentially the rope that Vincent escapes from is cut on camera. So that was something that we got day of, and it was, I think, me and 2 other people while we had like other people working on set deck, we're like, okay, how can we make this work? And Lindsay and I think Julia are the ones that really like cemented down an idea of having, I really don't remember what they did. I think it was pre-cut and we taped it from behind. So that, I really just have like a really great team that was able to help me with moments like that. Another one we had was edible blood, which we also weren't aware of day of. And our blood isn't edible. We had costume makeup for blood. So thankfully, Lindsay was prepared and brought edible blood that she had laying around for costumes. And then the day afterwards, a few hours later, we actually had the opportunity to like make edible blood. So it was corn syrup and food coloring.
Not everything that you guys have done is on the table with us right now.
Right.
I know that from what I saw, there was a bike that was pretty important. Tell me about it.
So our bike is one of our crew members' bikes, and it is taped and covered in makeup and dirt. But yeah, we also did that on day 1. It was Lindsay and I. Nathan had this idea that he had for our bike, and we kind of just went with it, and we used black duct tape and painter's tape for both of them.
What is your career goal, and how has this helped you get to that point? Is this something you want to continue doing? Is this something you've always wanted to do? Anything like that?
Key art was something I was introduced to in college. I never really had a passion for wanting to do it. I kind of just stumbled upon it, but I really love production designing. I don't know, for career goals, I would ideally want to do something in art, and with art direction. So hopefully art directing or production designing, I've had a lot of fun with. So,
Well, it was great talking with you, and I appreciate you for inviting me out here to
thank
hear
you
about
so
what you
much.
gotta do.
Thank you for asking me about art and all of our beautiful props and wardrobe and art. Yeah.
You see it burning down, ashes fall like a wire.